Well, hi kids, do you like violence? You want to see Pacifist block a bunch of parries? And, you know, I tried. What's up guys, it's Gameocide here. We have Way of the Pacifist, and in this game what you do get it like pacifist, because you're a pacifist and you don't like to fight too much. So what you do in this game is you pretty much parry a bunch of attacks, and there's a ton of enemies in the game that have different attacks and different times that they attack you. Well, there's some video game options here that are cool. So if you want to take some stuff off or on, cool. Whoa, and stop at arcade. And what arcade mode is you fight a bunch of enemies, try to get the highest score, blah, 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 but you can't play it until you have completed the game. The game has a total of 10 chapters, and from what I've seen, it's about every other chapter you'll have a boss fight. So in Way of the Pacifist, you know, you have 10 chapters, and in each chapter there's a certain amount of scenes you have to complete, and once you complete all the scenes, you have completed the chapter. Of course, easy, I know, get to the good stuff. Well, so how you progress in this game is eventually, as you get better and go through more chapters, you'll unlock cooler things like being able to dash, unlocking super moves like this one you'll see on screen right now, and eventually you just keep on playing and you start getting a lot cooler things that makes the game a lot funner and interesting. So, we have the environmental background to talk about. It's fairly basic, nothing I wouldn't expect from any indie developer really. Most of the backgrounds are still, and every once in a while you'll have some flags moving and chains moving for about 6 or 7 frames worth, like left or right or just up and down a little bit. Nothing crazy special, but at least there's something there. The environmental, like, destruction's kind of cool, with rocks falling down that can hurt you, or missiles that can hurt your enemies. So another mechanic in the game that I really enjoyed that I didn't really get until later on when I figured it out, when they throw Molotovs or some spikes at you, you can actually do your back move and you'll catch it and throw it back at them. I thought that was actually pretty dang cool. At least when I figured it out, it was awesome. Well, so boss fights. Yes, we have them, and like I said about every other chapter, there will be a boss fight. Like most boss fights in video games, they can prove to be extremely tedious at times, and sometimes it might feel like it's unfair. But I promise you, each of the boss fights does have some type of pattern and some way to solve it to be able to beat it. I don't know, words are hard sometimes, but don't get too frustrated, you'll get it. And if the difficulty is too much for you, you can always turn it down, or if it's not hard enough, you can turn it up. I actually really enjoy what they did with the difficulty settings. I don't know if I've ever seen this in a video game, but you can turn the resources up so you get more resources, or combos are harder to land, or there's less people you encounter at a time, or more people you encounter at a time, or you can determine the strength, whether your enemies kick your butt or not. So I think that's a pretty cool difficulty system. So for about the first hour of play, I really enjoyed it. It's definitely new. I don't know if I've really ever seen something like this, but unfortunately for just how kind of slow paced it is and waiting for enemies to come towards you or dashing to them once in a while, it definitely wears on you after the first hour or so. I can definitely see people enjoying this all the way through, but at least personally for me, it wasn't my favorite thing in the world. It's definitely not a bad game. It's alright. It's definitely alright. The game definitely has some new stuff to offer into the indie genre, and for some indie games to consider putting into their games, but after a while, like I said, I don't know, it's alright guys. So, hope you really enjoyed this review, and yeah, mwah.